Welcome back to Threshold of Revelation, session number 42. Um, the folks here went into the tunnels beneath Gerbert's Tower in the flying town of Flat Flap. They have defeated three smaller than normal variations of mage hunters, a type of creature that they have encountered before. However, the creatures they encountered in the past were wild mage hunters, and these ones appear to have traits that align them to being cultivated mage hunters, or mage hunters that are trained for purpose. They defeated them handedly. There was some interesting aspects of the combat, but after defeating them, they have scoured around the area to investigate the basement and what's going on. Prior to the combat, Uther and his repair crew sealed the two holes in the basement, barring the mage hunters from escape. And what they found inside of the basement is the scoured clean bones of a humanoid creature. They had a rifle and a shield and a sword that remained, but there was no other identifying marker besides. There were a number of bags that are filled with residuum glass that were found kind of in one pile. There was another pile of bags as well, but the bags were filled with what you would presume is food goods, grain, just very strange kind of grain. But it looks like the bags are the same, and you can actually see that there's like a staging process. It looks like there are a couple of bags that were emptied of the grain, presumably out the hole, and then they were used to be filled with the residuum glass. There are a couple of points throughout the basement that you found that it looked like there was some mining going on, specifically one point with a pickaxe, and then a couple of points besides that looked like they were being kind of scoured of their stonework. The hole that you found the guy in looks like it was a hole that such work was being done in. That just seems to have been where he must have, fought to his last. The individual definitely looks like, the bones at least, look like they are not oh, we're in the wrong squares all over the place.
Yeah, big time. I was gonna wait for you to finish. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I was typing it out so that you would see it.
No worries. But yeah, that said, it looks like people were down here cultivating the residuum glass, putting it in the bags, and preparing it for transport out of this space. Any questions about anything that's been kind of brought up here? Any questions about anything that you found, or no?
I think we took the gun, the shield, the sword, and some of the residuum stuff.
I don't know about the residuum.
I'm planning to gather all of it because I feel like that's why those things are here. If it looks like they were scratching at the walls, picking at it.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring that to Gerbert. Did we discuss the? There was like a desk, a table over here. Was there anything of importance there?
No, it looks like a workstation.
Just a bunch of random tools.
Yeah, tools. It looks like there was an effort to either repair or build what looks like a firearm, but it definitely looks like it's in kind of a disarrayed state that I don't think anyone present would be able to kind of fuck with.
We hardly even know what their tools are.
Yeah. Like you would recognize tongs, but then there's like this super massive wrench, and it's like that wrench is too big for anything anybody needs to be doing anything with a wrench for.
But Uther's big.
Oh, yeah, I use those
and so's that dog sometimes.
The wrench is still obnoxiously massive. Like.
No, it's actually just average size.
No, I'm trying to say, like, even for giants, it has an obnoxiously sized head. Like,
no, it's normal.
Oh my god.
That's a quarter inch.
I would pick that wrench up.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good 20-pound wrench. And again, the head looks like, I mean, it's technically a wrench, but the head is more like a, you know those grabby, like you pick up the litter with? Don't know what those things are called. The grabby claws?
I don't know, but you're not done swapping people. You
What?
got Brett and Joseph in the wrong spots.
Oh my god.
I was in the right spot, and then you swapped us around again.
Yeah, you really fucked up.
I am just not.
You really
good at
dropped that
this.
ball.
Is it good? Is it good? It's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Okay, but it's like one of those grabby claws that you would, use to pick up trash, except that it looks like it has a very much more interesting mechanism to it. Not just a, pressy click thing. It looks like it has like a shaft on the side of the head of the wrench that's used for manipulating the claw of the wrench.
That sounds cool and important. Doesn't mean much to me though.
Yeah.
You said the mage hunters are possibly trained.
Do you investigate the mage hunters at all? Like, do you investigate them?
I would, because I'm a little upset about it. I'm pretty sure no actual law's been broken because of where we are, but
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're in international waters.
I'm gonna have you choose one of the three options here.
Then you might want to help him out.
Either
It seems like a
Arcana-
brain thing.
and anybody can make these rolls. You can do your own individual. It doesn't have to be one person focusing. But yeah, you'll choose either Arcana, Investigation, or Survival. Those are your three options. And then anybody else who
Survival.
wants to try and investigate the Mage Hunter specifically can do likewise. Really.
25 survival.
Yep.
I don't have any of those trained.
So, Uther, what you are able to understand is that
Bugs!
with the 25 that you rolled, and we'll get through the numbers here in a second, but with the 25 that you rolled, you're able to understand three things. First off, they were definitely the things that bore the holes in the ground. They're definitely the things that have been mining, with the exception of the mining pick. And last but not least, it looks like these creatures are, compared to what you know of mage hunters, have a third form function. Their chitinous plates look like they could be expanded and kind of brought back in, so they can kind of change their size. So if you were to kind of take these things outside while they were alive, they could basically like let their plates loose and kind of grow out in size.
Transformers.
Not so much transformers as that they can kind of compact themselves.
Gross.
Very gross.
Gross.
Transmorphers.
They're They're anamorphs is what it is. Yeah. It's picture
Those
of
books
Uther,
were darker
and then
than I
it's like
was
a
led
bunch
to
of like,
believe.
like tracers, and then it's like him changing from Uther into a mage hunter. It's perfect.
It's way more thematically dark than Animorph, so Nyx kicks dirt on one of them.
Animorphs is super dark.
So not being familiar with mage hunters, like that, what Uther brought to light is not something you're familiar with. That's not a thing that is common, but not a thing that happens. But what is common is that mage hunters, if they are owned, are marked. They have a number of different markings that kind of create a connection between the owner of the mage hunter and the creature, so that they will not elicit harm on that individual, even if they are a mage, because they are really, really interested in murdering mages. And then they will also perform tasks as commanded. The markings that you see here are not in a magic language that you know, but it is a magic language that you know what it is. And that magic language is Denisotvan. And Bodhi, you remember mage hunters. Do you remember them? You remember them.
I'm
But
pretty
only
sure I've been
just.
killed by something bigger than this, but
Yeah.
looks like this.
Someone tells you it's a mage hunter, and you're like,
Nah, it's too small.
I'm suspicious. He rolled a 0.
I did roll a 0. Net
and yeah,
0.
You just get the one roll. You don't get to choose multiple options.
Oh, I get it.
Well, I was saying for Joseph.
I was just clicking. I
Okay,
wasn't
okay.
planning. I
Just
was.
showing off that he doesn't get zeros. That's fine.
They're both in.
That's polite.
So I was like, wanted to see what would happen.
Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, with the knowledge that you have, do as you like.
There
Well, I
are.
tell them about that.
There's no Denisotman on the island, right?
There are Denisovans on the island.
There.
Okay.
There's those guys in the skyship.
Yeah, the big sky ship that looks like it's made out of like either rock or like, bone. You're not sure. I'll go ahead and
The
slip
one
it.
that's the one that's more sturdily made out of probably not wood and
Yeah.
canvas.
That's 100% accurate. It definitely looks like it just breezed right through the entire fleet of this thing without issue. But yeah, in the bottom left corner, once it loads, that whole skyship there is the Denisovin skyship.
If we're getting back in our plane and taking off, I'd like to do a few passes underneath the island and look to see if we can see where the footprints are going to or from.
Sure. Yeah, very clearly, it looks like the creatures somehow were leaping across, upside down, leaping across the rocks to this position, and then moving on from there, kind of around the island to where you can kind of expect they do end up at the Denisovin ship. Oh, Zach blew up.
Your mic's starting to break up too.
Oh my god, everybody having problems. Alright, well, let me see if I can fix it.
And I'm pretty sure they still didn't actually break any laws, right?
There are no laws.
Okay, I want to be sure. Like, damn it, guys, come on.
Although
God,
there
Twist-
is the
Twist is
discourse
right.
of if you're taking something of someone else's, and that person has issue with it, then they can punch you. I believe was the leave.
What all is happening here?
Okay.
That was weird.
Yeah, you were.
I'm gonna leave it to Bodhi to report it back to the name Gerber.
Giggles? Gerbert.
Okay. So Bodhi will be the one you have talked to Gerbert regarding what's happening in his basement. Cool.
And if he wants to confront the Dennis Fountain, that's on him.
It looks like his computer keeps blowing up. Orb thing you found?
The moat of positive energy.
Yeah, it's a mode of positive energy. Sorry, hold on.
Am I back for real?
Yeah, it looks like.
I can hear you.
I see you moving. That's always good.
That was a big one. That was like 3 minutes.
Yeah, you were definitely having issues there.
We traced the bugs back to the Dennis Fountain ship, but you're in charge of talking to Gerbert, so he can decide what to do about it.
He's frozen in the same
He's out.
way. In the same exact way.
Okay. What did you take from, what happened to that guy?
Oh,
There it is.
are we here again?
Your voice is.
Yeah. You trace the.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good idea. Don't worry about Zoom video.
Yeah, that's fine. I can go ahead and pop the video on my side.
Or we could swap to Zoom audio. I'm sorry, yeah, Zoom audio. Discord is too much for him.
Yeah, this works for me.
So yeah, Nick flies us back and we land our airplane.
Eee.
And then we go about the rest of the night's activities.
Okay. So this is what it does technically. It's an ingredient. It's a small, I don't know why it's saying mysterious note on there, but oh, I see why. Okay, because I'm silly. But it's not too dissimilar from water elemental modes, which you've had. It's just an energy mode instead of an elemental mode. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think this is something that they've seen before, which is, yeah, again, similar. It's just kind of like a raw bit of element or energy kind of locked into one spot. Zach, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, I am getting back into
You don't have
roll.
to jump.
I'm gonna leave out.
Zoom, that's fine.
Yeah,
Seems to be the
until
issue.
we get this all sorted.
No worries. Alright, so, anybody have any other questions?
Does that energy mode allow more than one person to restore all spent hit dice?
No.
Or is it just for one person?
You eat it.
You eat it. Oh, you eat it.
No.
What if you're kissing while you consume it?
Yeah. Always looking for the angles, right, Jeremy?
So, I don't know if...
Always looking to have a reason to kiss.
I don't know if you've ever tried that kind of technique in real life, but I would like to think that you probably
Always end up
eat
choking on a
everything.
gobstopper.
You probably eat up everything, and the person you're kissing gets none of it, just like me and you did that one time.
Nope, never.
Never happened.
Ugh.
Oh. Anyway, so yeah, it can be used in recipes, but again, you have no idea what it would be utilized for.
All right.
And I will say too, the one thing that you'll note in hindsight is it didn't look like it was powering it after thinking about it. It looks like it was something that was created by the machine it was in. So,
Was it a candy dispenser?
positive energy candy dispenser. Or it's like an elemental and energy moat, like a gumball machine.
It's rare candy.
Damn it, negative energy again. Ah. So you were saying that you were going to have Bodhi go and check in with Gerbert.
Yep.
And Zach, I don't know if you're the audience.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so then you go up and talk to Gerbert.
Yeah, I wanna show him the stuff and ask him if he knows what it is.
Oh, there was
I'm not mad at you.
Oh no, there was a guy coming around here asking questions. He had points at the rifle and the shield. Those said he was with the guild of Malbranch.
Uh-huh.
Said he would do some protection work. I said I got all the protection I need, and I showed him the spike trap and everything, and he wasn't terribly happy about it. Yeah, and yeah, that was the last time I saw him. That was about a month or two ago.
Well, he's dead in your basement.
Okay.
You have any idea what he's doing down there?
Well, he was really interested in protecting the location. I don't know.
Okay. More to the point, do you know what this is? I'm holding out a shard of the residuum.
Yeah.
I found it down there.
Magic glass. The whole island. My island is made out of it. Mostly. There's a lot of it down there. Why?
You're
Is
talking
that
about
why
your portion where your tower stands, or all of Flap Flap?
most of the no, just mine.
Okay.
So, you see that this wasn't really technically part of the rest before.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of put it together with them. They were doing their own thing. I was doing my own thing. I just helped out some folks south of here make a little flying island for themselves. And yeah, I learned about Flap Flap, and this was years ago now. It's a while ago. And I said, I like you guys. And then we just linked up. And
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
You're just a tow along.
Well, yeah, I do some good work for them.
No. I'm not saying you're just a stowaway. The reason I bring this up, those creatures. I don't know if you got a good look at them.
Not
They
really.
were mage hunters,
Oh. What's that?
and they seemed to be specifically trained to mine that magic glass from under your house.
Huh. Well, who went and did that?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Well, if we
You
can find out
do
who
know,
it is, they
out
stole.
of character.
Okay, I sure as hell did.
Okay. The,
If anybody came with Bodhi, they could sure
Yeah.
as hell help with the
the
investigation.
writing on the bugs is in Denisopin, and we followed their trail back to the Denisopin ship.
All right, so
You know exactly who did it.
good news, Gerbert. There's less of a mystery.
Oh! I don't like mysteries.
Oh
what you
boy, it
tell
really could have been caught up to speed.
If you tell him that, he'll say, "Well, that Dennis Oppen lady, she's over in the fort." Well, if she did something about it, she should, especially if she took any. Do you know if she took any?
Well, the good news is, I don't think they know that we know. I can't be sure if how soon they'll realize that their mage hunter thieves are gonna be dead.
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
No, it's not good, Gerbert. I don't care for it myself.
They shouldn't be doing that.
No.
Especially since I've been cut off from my workbench for a while now, and
Oh, is that okay? That makes sense. That would be your workbench.
well, yeah, I was
Silly
working
me.
on a pretty cool idea. It was well, there's always the possibility that the links or connections get broken, you know, and
Right.
there's not too much holding me on to the rest of the island, just a couple of lines.
Yeah, that occurred to me.
I came up with a good idea. I was going to use it on the top of my tower, just in case. It's a gun, and it would shoot a grappling hook thing.
Okay.
Connect to the island if I pop loose. Temporary fix, sure, that could get the lines back together or whatever. And it seems like a pretty good idea.
Gerbert, that sounds badass.
I know.
OEO, brother.
So yeah, I gotta get back down to the workbench, figure it out. But
In it.
I just don't know how I feel about this whole Dennis Sotvin thing, especially since the Flap Flaps are really kindly with them right now in their big boat.
Is there anyone else on the island of Flap Flap that you could trust
Oh yeah,
not to immediately take this information to the Denisottvans?
sure. Blassos Blast Whistle, he's a pretty good friend of mine.
That's a cool name.
He was the one who let me, suggested the Flap Flaps I stick around. And I found pretty good friendship with Daltia Flap Flap. She's good. Thought of her cunning when it comes to putting stuff together. So I'd like to think she'd learn a little bit of it from me. But yeah, then there's a Bogart across the way. That's it.
Well, the last thing we want to do is endanger the people at Flap Flap,
Oh yeah.
especially how hospitable you've been for us. If Denisotphans have flying machines and you're this close to their territory, I don't know that we should really.
We've done our part. He can go by the laws of his government here in Flap Flap, but that does appear to be a Denisotvan warship, way bigger and more powerful than anything else flying around here.
Oh yeah.
He'll deal with it however he needs to, but our part's done.
Truth be told, though, I don't think they would be really able to deal with Jub. So, I mean,
And Jub is the fuel source
The power source, yeah.
thing.
Bullet
Okay.
Tigris, yeah,
The yellow.
the core.
The Melatignus.
For Latignus.
The Hostatignis.
The hungry hole.
Every hole's a goal. I
The
mean,
blessing that me and Nuther got.
but yeah. So he would mention Blastos Blast Whistle, which some of you folks have kind of encountered, though probably not having learned his name. Blastos is the leader of the Stokers. He's the one who makes sure that the Volatignus is fed. Then
He's the one that yelled at me in Ezekiel.
right. He mentioned Daltia, who you know, some of you in a more than course.
Yes.
And then he mentioned Bogart, which is a friend he said of his that lives over in this building. Oh, that's not pinging. This building across the way.
Bogart?
Bogart. Boggart.
Do we know who Bogart is?
If you ask, you haven't met him yet.
Yeah, I'll ask about Bogart. I was
If
like,
you
Blast Whistle sounds familiar, but who's this Bogart character, Gerbert?
He says, I call him Bogart. I think the others call him Voudal or Voudel or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, the reason why I call him Bogart is he's scary. Anyways, he's older. Kind of gestures at Sanat. You know.
One of those elf types?
Yeah, it says something in Goblin, and if you speak Goblin, it's kind of a pejorative.
I understand.
Is he teaching us slurs?
Yeah, it's kind of a pejorative in reference to like elf's pointy ears. It's kind of like Dirk ear
Oh,
would be like a exact translation. But
Longer than knife, shorter than a sword, I get it.
yeah. But he would kind of say
Measure
he's
some
good.
tears.
He's friendly. He's a nice guy. He helps me maintain the vaulters rigs. And so you would know that the vaulters rigs refers to the mechanical mechanic like power loaders that they use to like unload and load shit. Basically, they're like if you played Final Fantasy VI, they're like Magitech. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VI and you've watched the movie Aliens, they're like power loaders, except
Okay.
magic.
Okay. So Bogart makes those or maintains
Bogart
them?
helps maintain them, yeah.
Okay.
Would that be considered a land vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
It would indeed. They are currently only rigged to host goblins in them, so you definitely would have another situation where the drone.
Is it a size issue?
The only person we have that can operate land vehicles can just make himself the shape of a goblin.
Oh, well then, perfect.
Quite squishy.
Yeah, you could probably. Oh yeah, the plasma could probably pilot one. Yeah.
Could it carry a skyship?
Yeah, it could, but it doesn't move very fast.
We've solved all of our problems.
You just have to give. one of
Maybe
them a
we
go.
say hi to this Bogart fella. Is he keen on strangers? Does he have an opinion of the conglomerate between you and me?
Have you mentioned the conglomerate to Gerber before?
I haven't.
He would say,
Just sort of in passing, like, so what's going on with these conglomerate, these Denisotphans? These politics are hard to follow.
Well, he kind of goes to a point where you start to realize he doesn't know what the conglomerate is, which is
Okay.
strange.
For the
Because we're in the land where they're most prominent. But he,
It's a touchy
throughout
subject.
the conversation, does not seem to understand what they are.
He lives on a floating island that requires tickets to get aboard. It's cool if he doesn't know what's going on where he lives.
Right.
This guy doesn't need to know this.
But if you try to explain it to him, do you try to explain what the conglomerate is to him? Or no?
In so much that it's the government
Do you show him like the symbol?
to the east. Yeah, I will.
Oh yeah, Bogart's got one of those.
It's one of these,
Yeah, like that. He
just like
wears it.
this.
Mhm.
Okay.
How does he wear it?
You see him have like this
Right.
mental like quandary as to like how things are worn, like how it happens. Like not like he's not thinking about like, you know, where it's being worn, like you probably presume by that. It's more like he has this existential crisis in his head as to like what defines something being worn. And you just see his eyes kind of like,
Does he pin it to his hat? Does he use it as a belt buckle?
oh, I kind of just points at his cloak.
So wearing it how he should if he were in it.
Yeah,
Like a brooch.
Not a trophy.
correct.
Cool.
I might just say hi to that guy. He sounds like a pretty cool guy.
Now, keeping
Gerbert,
in-
I'm willing to guess. Would you like this magic glass back? It kind of belongs to you and your property.
yeah, if they took it from me, I mean, I kind of
They took it from you. I don't want to take it from them when they stole it from you. So I
Well-
want you to have it back.
I had a couple sweet spots that I was pulling it from because it's kind of helpful, empowering the rigs.
Yeah.
And it's useful for other stuff. I sometimes will try and like convert it into stuff like positive energy modes, and I also like using it to make magic items sometimes. But yeah, I just haven't, you know, torn apart the whole island. I just found a couple of cool spots. You'll see. I mean, if you were down there, you probably saw some markings, a little goblin face. That was to mark where the stuff was good.
Right. No. Yeah. That's awesome.
Painting.
I would just encourage you to be careful digging out,
Don't
your
fall out.
foundations.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't see. I hope they didn't damage any of your machines. I don't really have a head for machines myself.
I'll probably go down there and give him a look.
But yeah, I'll give him back all of the glass that we found.
Okay.
Can I keep this dead guy stuff?
Yeah, it's not mine.
Yeah, that's not his.
Cool. It was in his basement.
That's fair.
We were being
Oh.
cool about stuff.
You didn't leave the dead body down there, did you?
I'll get rid of it if you want.
Well, I mean, if
It'll
there's
be
any good-
real easy to lose.
He says, "Well, if there's any good eats left on it, I mean, how long has he been dead?"
You
I think
said it's been a couple months.
Oh,
It was just bones.
oh, yeah. I'll get rid of it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Not squeamish. Cool.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
if he wants us to like come with him down to the basement to make sure it's safe,
No,
I'd be willing to.
it doesn't look like he's leaving like to go downstairs like immediately. It's more kind of like he's waiting for you to leave, and then he'll
That's
probably
fair.
go down and check his stuff.
It's getting late.
Yeah, yeah.
Me, Gerbert, and Mushroom Elf are gonna have a tea party one day. It's gonna be so fun.
Well, I will let you know that it was going to be a bit. I don't know if you'll ever come back to meet with Gerbert or not, but if you do come back like tomorrow, he's making that one guy's stew right now. Like he's basically boiling the bone marrow.
Bone broth.
out of the- yeah.
I wouldn't turn down a meal.
Hey, everything tastes better when it's free.
Fair enough. But yeah, if you leave that location,
I mean, people fed me mutton while I was a satyr, so whatever that guy is can't be worse.
Exactly.
where would you like to go from there?
Yeah, I guess with how late it is, we should probably turn in.
Yeah.
Well,
It
it's
would
not
be
like
bedtime.
it's not like night. It's like probably evening time. The sun's still up, but it's like right on the cusp of starting to like dip beneath the horizon.
Okay.
Because you only worked 8 hours. You didn't work all day.
I didn't work at all.
Was that plus dealing with the basement?
Yeah,
I've been just
That didn't
puttering
take long
about
at all.
while everyone else is at work and school.
you were down there for 20 minutes tops.
Okay. And then scout mission across the town and then walking back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Counting that. Yeah, it's probably closer to like actual like evening. We're getting into kind of like sun setting. I forgot about the tracking. Okay, so you're just going back home then?
yeah. And on the way home,
If
I'll let Bodie know that he might want to see if he can visit that new two person that Dekelos told us about. That should be on the island.
Who?
New two.
Oh, that's right. The witch.
Yeah, the lady that Dekelos said would be the most friendly to us, I think, or at least willing to treat with us.
Do you ask Gerbert about Nutu?
If he hasn't like shoot us outside yet,
Yeah,
I'll,
again, he says he doesn't know
I'll
who
name
the
drop real
Glamar
quick.
are. That might not be a great sign or indicator that he knows, but you can definitely ask him.
right.
Yeah, he would say,
Just,
"Oh,
it just does the name Nutu or whatever ring a
oh
bell.
yeah, I know Nutu. She's kind of keeps to herself. She gets along well with the blast whistles. She might be one herself. I don't know." And he kind of like does a little doodle on like a piece of parchment and hands it to you. It's a address number, but it's also like a small, very crude-looking map of the island. And it looks like she is going to be number 9 on the markers. Adding it now.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend I know where that is.
Right next to home.
Oh wait, no, I can't find 9. I forgot. I've been looking at the Twitch stream this whole time because I can't get the video.
No worries.
Just in case people gesture and I miss it. And then I could wait 4 seconds for the gesture.
Thumbs up.
Oh, she's awful close to the Dennis Otford ship.
Yes.
And our house.
Yes.
Yeah, we're over here by like 10, right?
Yes.
Up one, yeah.
Okay. I was awful close. If it's not late,
It's not like dark. It's still.
it's like 7-ish.
Yeah, I'd say 6:37ish. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind dropping by that Bogart guy's house then. I don't know about going all the way anywhere near that ship.
So Bogart lives there. I will go ahead and notate his as well with a marker. Number 2 for those of you who are wanting to keep track. But yeah, you'll note that the pathway up to his house is kind of a muddled mess. So it looks like there's a door here. But the more you look at the door, the more you realize that the step up and the door are just facades. Like the door itself looks like it's just a part of the wall that's been shorn of its tiling, like its protective tiling, and kind of painted to look like a door. You do see that there's a small rock path that continues past the house on the side that moves underneath the trees and kind of in between some bushes, but it does look like the path is decently traveled.
This is where we boarded, right?
You boarded down here and you came up into this house. Oh wait, sorry. It wasn't flashing.
That was up by those 2
You
guys.
walked
at the very
through
top.
Yeah.
and then you came up here. This was this is the entrance building.
Oh, I thought it was
Okay.
where those big
We were
tokens
over here, but there was also ground at the time.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
That's
You're
where we
walking
got,
in between
like-
this little canyon space, and then there was a rope underneath this house that's kind of overshooting off of the cliff. Right.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it looks like there's a path that kind of comes around to the back end of the house. If you want to take that path or not.
Yeah.
I would say
Is
there
anybody
are,
else coming with?
there are goblins kind of milling about. That one goblin who looked like he was like the boss guy is kind of there. There's like a couple goblins sitting on this wall up here, and it looks like they are drinking from what appear to be like paper sacks, possibly something inside of the paper sacks. You're not sure. And then they also seem to be kind of holding what looks like sugar cane, except that it's lit on one end, and they're oftentimes kind of like it almost looks like they are like chewing on it and also inhaling it at the same time.
Man, I'm glad I'm watching the Twitch
Wow.
right now.
That is so cool.
You're gonna get it in a second if you haven't gotten it already.
No, I saw it.
Just like if I could just put
It
like
was
a,
graphic.
okay, if I could put like a just go ahead and make a
Don't tap yourself on the head
no.
while
I
you're
was
doing
gonna
it.
say if you put like a
I'm just saying I'm a good boy.
put a hat on my head and then put like a cigar in front of me. Oh, don't do this.
Yeah.
I could be like the.
They're trying to make it look real, Jeremy.
I'm gonna steal the decals.
Oh, they're trying to make it look fake off.
That boys are gonna kill me.
They're trying to drive.
Nobody
past
else
it,
gets
make
it.
look
Let's move on.
fake. Yep. So do you move past or up the path and around the back of the house?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would like to ask them what they're drinking.
Oh yeah, I can split up. You guys do.
Might be water.
They
I'm gonna
kind-
go with you, just in passing.
They kind of say a goblin word, and I know one of you speaks goblin. So the word that it's translated to isn't something that transfers into common very well. It's almost like a named thing, or possibly a brand name. And for just, again, I don't have a placeholder name for it, but we'll just call it Jankum for the current time being.
Gross. I know what that is. That's gross.
Nobody else says. We're good. It's just
Hey,
me and Zach.
don't
making
Google it.
references.
I'm gonna not Google it.
Don't Google Jankum. Not even once.
Okay. I believe you.
So
I will not do it.
If you go to the back
Mean
end
it.
of the house, you
Yep.
see that there
I
is
have
a
to.
strangely kind of like poorly made wooden step that leads up to a door that looks a bit more real. The door in question looks like it's slightly ajar, and it looks like one of the hinges is broken.
Uh-oh. Does it look very recent that this happened?
It definitely doesn't look old, but how recent you can't be certain. Andy Googled it.
I did not.
I did.
Jonah did. Jonah's doing it, and I'm hoping that he's going to give me a version that I can tolerate.
Anyway,
I'll give the door a knock. I'm hesitating, but I'm.
there's
The
no,
slotted shield, is it just a standard light shield?
there's no size for shields in
Or
5th edition.
whatever.
It is a standard shield.
Okay. Bodhi knocked on the door. I'm backing him up.
Nothing. Quiet. Still as a grave.
I'm gonna walk in.
I'm. Oh, I was gonna slide in through the slot in the door.
You kind of,
All
Bodhi,
slime-like.
staying low, you kind of like, and then Uther kind of pushes the door open with the barrel of his weapon.
Yeah, he's gonna go.
Oh. Interesting. Hold on a second here.
The gun's put away.
This
I'll
might-
push the door open with the shield.
This might get weird, so just hold on a second. Yeah,
Always
I
weird.
figured it would.
It's already
You're teaching
weird.
people what Jankum is.
Okay, cool. I would never. So when you open the door, which is on the north side, tokens out. Spacing would be a little off there, it looks like. So let me fix that real quick. For some reason.
Is everybody coming with us, just to be sure?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
If we can no problem.
Looks like you could decided to jump off.
Okay.
Uther was moved out of the way, so John could align the map.
I'm zoomed way in so I could see the map we're on. I was trying to move my guy.
Don't jump, Uther.
Left it.
Don't.
Yay!
There we go.
I had lost the ability to pick it up
I
as he was
guess I'm
editing the
over
map.
here somewhere. I don't know where the entrance is that we're at. Is
It's
it
up
the
right
north
north
side?
there, so there'll be this space there.
Okay.
So when you enter in, the first thing you notice is that it looks like there is a staircase directly out in front of you. And I'm going to shift the music because obviously this is a little too pleasant. Yeah, as you kind of look in this first hall, the place is very well lit. It looks like the windows on the western side of the house are illuminating everything pretty well. There are some kind of deep shadows in like the darker spaces, but what you notice is it looks like there is a cabinet broken apart, just torn to sunder. You do see a very familiar looking wrench kind of laying on the ground. You then see what looks like a bunch of shit, just like a cluster of all sorts of stuff, just
Hockey sticks and
smattering,
boat oars.
smattering all over the space. It looks like it's blocking the stairs that lead upstairs.
I know Gerbert called him Bogart, but he gave him another name.
Vudel or Vudal. He kind of said it twice, very strange.
I'm gonna move in a bit cautiously.
Okay. You look into this space, and you would see that there is more shit and junk kind of just broken apart. Looking at this, it almost looks like there's a blast hole, like on the ground, that looks like it smashed a dining room table in its entirety. Everything else inside of this room, which appears to be a kitchen / larder, is perfectly fine. In fact, there are some root vegetables, potatoes, and carrots that are sitting out on the cutting table or the prep table, and it looks like they have a little bit of dust kind of over top of them, but other than that, they look like they are fine. In this room here, it looks like a space that has been kind of diablerized or kind of like converted from what was like a sitting room into like a makeshift hovel. There's a bed that looks like it was kind of formed from a bedroll, some hay, and some blankets. And next to it is a rifle that's identical to the one that Uther's currently holding. Also,
Does the blast? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Also in this room, you see a shield that is also identical to the one that Uther is currently holding.
And a big ass knife.
I was just gonna ask, does the blast go through the floor?
It looks like it breaks out the wall. And it looks like it puts a pretty decent dent in the floor. It doesn't go all the way through though.
So the blast came from in the room downward rather than beneath upward?
Correct. And
Okay.
then, yeah,
Does there appear to be a balcony above us?
it looks like there's a staircase that goes up to a second floor.
I'm headed up the stairs.
It looks
Yeah,
like
but
it
it's
would
like
be-
if I poke my head through this doorway here, there's not like a window or a balcony above us.
Correct. And again, peeking your head up, like it's kind of barred. Like it looks like a bunch of shit has been kind of pushed down the steps.
Here. If I was here and looking up above the kitchen.
Oh no! There's a ceiling.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So that blast was like point blank then in the kitchen.
Yeah, kind of down.
It didn't like come out of a balcony or something.
Right. Looking at the bursting on it, it looks like someone like might have shot down with like a firebolt, either onto someone who was on the table and then down onto the person after the table just burnt out from underneath them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like there's any person there, but yeah. Ezekiel, as you kind of
Accidental discharge.
move up to the stuff that's kind of placed there, it looks like a bunch of stuff, even from the cabinet that you're walking past, has been kind of pushed into that space. Sanat, moving over into the room as Uther's kind of examining the blast and destruction, you would notice that it looks like a lot of valuables have been placed in this corner, almost as if someone was like looting the space and preparing to take it somewhere with them. And then Nyx, moving into the larder in the kitchen, everything looks like it's fine. In fact, there are some very expensive looking bottles of wine kind of at the high shelf there, and a very expensive looking bottle of whiskey, which go ahead and make a history check.
Sure. If they were hoping to steal stuff, it doesn't look like they did a very good job. 16.
So 16 would tell you that this whiskey, it's a green colored whiskey that is relatively rare. and it would be known as Adalbert whiskey.
Oh, perfect whiskey. I'm gonna take that and slip it into my bag without
The
the
bottle
others seeing.
is unopened, and based
Good
on
lord.
its condition, it's probably worth about 300 gold pieces.
Okay. Great. Slip it in.
Cool it, Boozy.
I'm getting up those stairs. Can I
Okay.
misty step past all the
You
junk
can,
that's
you
there?
can slither up. That's fine. Ezekiel, if you want to kind of climb up, that's fine too.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be smooth.
Because we're on top of one staircase,
No,
or
because the space
the map tile.
the space is technically directly above you. So if I put it, it's going to get rid of the bottom. Does that make sense?
Can you move?
So
I
what I'm
saw
gonna
you
do-
move one of the floors.
What I'm
Should we
gonna
move
do-
our?
No, I'm gonna put it to the side of where you're at.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So I'm up here.
Correct. So when you get to the top, there is a door directly in front of you, and a door to the right of that, and an open area that looks like it was filled with stuff. But looking at the ground, it looks like it's covered with like marks of people having pulled stuff out of this room and away. But yeah, the two doors in front of you closed, as far as you can tell, sealed.
I'm gonna just start knocking on both doors, calling out Bogart and Bodell, whatever his name was.
Still is a grave.
I'll try the doors.
The door
If
on the
they're
left
open.
opens and reveals that this is a head or toilet.
Okay.
Looks like if you were to utilize it, it would just shoot out like into oblivion.
Can't blame him.
So there's kind of like
Wouldn't have put the kitchen under it, but that's fine.
there's a bit of a wind coming up, but yeah, it doesn't look like it goes straight down. It looks like it goes
There's a
diagonal
chute.
down. Yeah, it's like a sluice that just shoots out the shit. And there's a water pot, so you can kind of.
Anyway, I'm dropping all of my belongings and slithering under that door.
Absolutely. It does appear that door's locked before you try to do the slithering part, and
Yeah.
it was absolutely going to bar you from entry. But once you get inside, you see very elvish-looking decorations on the rug, and then very Janaran decorations on the side tables, the bedding, and a very large book on a dresser. The dresser looks like it has been broken open, and the book has a strange, like, it almost looks like paint on the handle or like lock mechanism of the book. It's a massive tome, right? And it's got like a lock on the side, but it looks like there's paint on the side that the lock is on. And as you inspect it closer, you realize it's not paint. It actually looks like it's burnt flesh, and it's in the shape of a hand.
Gross.
That's
Is this a? Is there a title? Anything on the cover that I recognize?
No title, but you do recognize the styling of book as being similar to the books that were inside of the restricted area of the library at Amblevote.
I have one of those.
You do
Do
indeed.
you have one of these?
Do you want me to come take a look at it?
I guess.
So
I was really hoping to find that guy.
on the opposite side, Bodhi, when you unlock the door, those of you who are on the other side of the door, watch as this arcane symbol appears above the doorknob for a second and then vanishes, and then the door opens. And so now what you realize is the lock has a permanent arcane lock mechanism. So when the door is locked from the back end or by key, it activates the spell Arcane Lock on the door, which increases its lock picking defense by a lot.
This is a conglomerate person, right?
It is. These are the typical tricks.
Bodhi, you can use your prestidigitation thing and probably
It's
open
not
it
it's
up.
not a door marker. There's no door marker on the book either.
Oh, okay.
I can just unlock the door from the inside.
Yeah, you slithered under and you popped open the door. There was no
I thought
barring you from
I
doing
thought it
that.
was going to be a conglomerate book and you'd be able to dispel it, not blow your hand off trying to open it.
No, It looks like touching the
No,
book
I
is
don't know
probably
any
a
better.
bit good.
And these are very replaceable hands.
All right.
I got nothing to worry about.
Very replaceable. Blow it off and it doesn't kill you. You just reform it. Blow it off and it does kill you. Just reform your body.
But yeah, I guess I'll hand the book over to Sanat if he's making his way up the stairs.
Okay,
I'm
so-
kind of pacing around, looking out the windows, and
Are you
putting my
sure?
clothes back
As
on.
you start reaching towards the book, you feel a certain level of static coming off the book. Do you continue to pick it up?
Oh, is this me?
Yeah. So before you pick the book up, as you're reaching out to touch it, there's like a level of static that seems to be kind of filling your plasmoid form. Do you
I
continue
mean, I'm
to
dumb,
pick up
but I'm
the
not that dumb. I'll leave it there.
book? Okay.
I'm just gonna get dressed and keep looking out the windows, see if anybody's paying attention to the house.
So Sanat, once you get to the book and are looking at it, I need you to go ahead and make an Arcana roll.
I don't know how to read today. I'm sorry.
So what you would note is there definitely does appear to be a ward on it, and the hand mark, which most will probably presume is someone trying to have, like, accosted the book and having been punished for it. That's not the case. What you would know is that that was actually a part of activating the ward. So the person who activated the ward sacrificed a good portion of their hand to do it. So it's a very powerful version of the spell symbol, I believe. Let me double check my notes. Yeah. It would be a very powerful form of the spell symbol. And so when you touch it, it will activate an effect, either death, discord, fear, hopelessness, insanity, pain, sleep, or stunning, depending on what the person who cast the symbol wanted it to be. And this lasts until the spell is dispelled or until it's triggered. And from what you can tell, the hand being present determines that it has not yet been done. Also,
They weren't ready for this party to show up.
it doesn't look like anybody besides you has been in this space for some time. So the robbers probably didn't make it to this room, is what you would be thinking, Bodhi.
Somebody needs to go back to Gerbert's and get those tongs.
There's the set downstairs. I told you there's a wrench down there.
I'm gonna take this rifle and shield.
Okay. Do you have another arcane rifle and another?
Does it shoot the same spell, or does it shoot a different spell?
It's the exact same. It's an identical.
Man, that'd have been more fun.
In
I don't
fact,
remember if you
Like
said
it's-
anything about
Our
it.
plane's gonna get real cool.
if you look at it and kind of like check it, it has the exact same maker's mark as well.
One on the front and one on the back.
And,
Is this a chest?
Uther, make an investigation roll.
5.
Okay.
Unless
Yeah.
somebody else wants to give me a 22.
Yeah, if someone wants to
It's a
spend their
5.
inspiration for it, they can. But I will say that the maker's mark is identical to the one on your rifle. Like, they're identical. Looks like these were made as like a part of a set, or were made like bulk, and there's like dozens of them or hundreds of them.
Is there a serial number on that bad boy?
Not so much, but if you want to take a look at it, you can make an investigation check as well.
Oh yeah, let me get right on it. Let me take a look at it.
2.
Does a 5? 2 help? Does a 2 help?
You're not so sure they're the same mark. Like, you think Uther's out of his mind.
This is not a gun.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Gun. And Sonata, if you do look at it, having investigated the Mage Hunter as well, you would note that the markings are very similar, in that they look like they're cast in the same language, Denisotvan.
Did the skeleton have weirdly long arms?
Nope.
Okay. Yes.
So this wasn't a chest like at the foot of the bed.
No, it's a. It's technically a chest, yes, but opening it just reveals that there's clothing.
Okay. I'm
and
gonna dig through all the
linens.
clothing. Is there anything on the bottom, like a hidden weapon or something? Dang.
There's no longsword down there. Look, it's almost longsword size.
That's how I was looking at it.
Yeah, I guess sort of piecing this together, Gerbert's the only person I know who knows this guy and I can trust, so I'm dashing back over to his house. Matter of fact,
You wanna
I'll
put the
fucking Misty
book in a
step
bag of
across the
holding?
gap out the window.
Okay.
I'm
So,
gonna snatch this knife and check the cupboard.
oh, you're talking about the big knife?
Well, it's gone. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a knife. It's a greatsword. Just as a heads up, it does appear to be slightly magical. The other things that are present there, there's a lamp that looks like it was like discarded and is covered in soot. There is a pair of boots that are kind of a yellowish color, and they look like they're made out of some sort of pelt that's very, very soft. And then there's a statue that's broken. And looking at it, it seems to be a very iconic representation of. Bear with me, the name's very important here. For note taking people, please be fair to take notes on the name I'm about to say.
That's all of us, yes.
Absolutely. So this would be a perfect statue of. No, that's not his name. Sorry.
What? What?
That's in
How do you
Goblin. I
spell?
don't speak it.
How do you spell?
Many R's.
Yeah,
P's.
lots of R's.
Probably an H in there somewhere.
Man, where are my notes?
What were the other things while he's looking?
Great sword, soft yellow boots, a lamp. Did the lamp appear to be of like any special
It
grade?
looks like it's an oil
Soft
lamp.
yellow boot sounds delightful. Can I have them?
It looks like it's an oil lamp. It looks like it's made out of brass. It looks like it's kind of dirty, obviously.
Oh, wipe that dirt off. Get the genie out here already.
And
That's right.
Dirty lamp.
that would be really funny. Like setup wise, I'm like, oh, wow. If I was really setting that up, that would have been great. But I was
That would have
not,
been great.
and that wasn't. It appears to be of a renowned hero of Jernaris, specifically south place known as the Osser Vale, an individual known as Hadrian, who was a great lord and noble, and also a master knight, who fought alongside a number of great heroes in the Osser Vale.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah,
Was that your old man character?
Galen was the old man.
Galen.
It was his like apprentice or squire. He sucked. Beat the shit out of a hay bale and nothing else.
Do the boots look magical as well?
Yeah.
They look comfy, is what they look like.
I can identify.
My
both
dogs
of
are
them.
bark.
I'm loading it all up so we can identify it when we finally go to bed.
I can identify it right here while we're waiting on him to come back.
For that, was there anything in the cupboard, or is this all covering
so the
that?
cupboard
too?
looks like it's been completely torn out, so everything that was
Okay.
in it is out. You would notice that there is a wrench similar to the one that Gerbert has.
Nyx took.
The big,
That's right.
the big meaty wrench.
Got it.
But yeah, if you've gone with everything that's present here, and then head out.
So how are we gonna
We're
get the
gonna
book
look
in a
like the
bag of
robbers,
holding?
by the way.
We have a bag of holding.
Yeah, but we can't touch the book, so we're just gonna.
I
like,
do,
stick
and
it
I
in there.
jumped out the window.
Thought that's why Bodhi was going to grab Gilbert, was because we
Also-
couldn't touch the book.
There are no laws here, and the person who owns the house is missing.
That's right.
I don't think
Hey,
that there's
3-second
no
roll, okay? 3-second roll. It's on the floor. It's hard.
Okay.
No, the rule
There's
is
no
do
stable
the
economy.
rule is
that's
do
not
unto
new
others,
law.
right? It's like
Anyway, I'm
Okay.
going to Gerbert. They're all ransacking a place.
Sucks to suck, you know.
Okay.
It does.
You go with Gerbert's. And
I'm
he's still
slamming
there.
on the door.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's happened, but your friend Bogart, he's gone. I think somebody broke into his house. He might be injured.
Oh no. You just gone?
I don't see any sign of him. It looks like there was an explosion in his house. We let ourselves in to try to talk to the guy.
Huh.
The door was open.
The door
Well,
was-
I don't know what to do. I hope he's okay.
Well, we gotta do something, Gerbert. I thought you ran this town.
What?
Who do we talk to?
Not me. The
Let's go,
Flap-Flaps
Gerbert.
run the town.
A lot of pressure.
Wait, do we really think that he runs the town? We don't.
He led me. He allowed me to believe he ran the town last time we spoke about it.
Well, obviously
He did accept a lot of praise.
He is apparently backpedaling now and trying to push responsibility elsewhere. And he will say the Flap-Flaps are responsible. Also, something you would notice as you're walking over is the engine on the southern side of his island is kind of letting out like a dark smoke and kind of sputtering. But by the time you get up to the house, it stops doing that.
Don't think it would pass inspection, Gerbert.
I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah, it's fine.
That black smoke, it belched black smoke until you looked at it.
It'll stop doing it in a bit. See?
All right, that's on you, not me. I did my part, but your friend is gone.
That
I think
sucks.
somebody kidnapped him. Somebody stole his stuff.
I don't know what to do.
Called the gendarmes.
You gotta go talk to the Flap-Flaps.
Raise the alarm, Gerbert.
I don't know what that means.
It's French, I think.
No, the other part. What do you mean, raise the alarm? I don't even know how to
I don't
cast
know.
that spell.
I don't know if there's like a.
There's not, because there aren't any laws. They don't have cops.
But
There's
yeah,
like a silver alert.
you're like, we gotta inform the authorities. There are no authorities.
I think you're going to get the same reaction you got from Gerbert.
I'm running out of
Oh no!
belt plots here, Gerbert.
Not my pig, not my farm.
Right, 100%. Now you can't.
All right, well, keep yourself safe. I don't know what they're after. They had a rifle similar to the one that was downstairs. Who was the guy that came down there?
Some asshole. He said he was a part of the guild.
The Guild of
Malbranch.
Malbranch. Was Bogart involved in this guild? He had a matching rifle in his house.
Nope. What do you mean matching rifle?
An identical rifle
Like the one
to the
that
one we found
you
downstairs.
showed me? Yeah, that's not. No, that's not the guild's.
Okay, whose is that?
I don't know. I've never seen one like that before.
Okay, well, in the past 30 minutes, I found two of them. One was in your basement, Gerbert. I need you to really fire some
Yeah, but you said it was
synapses
with
here.
that guy, the asshole from the Guild of Malbranch.
Yeah, it was with that
Yes.
asshole. That asshole you turned down and then was found dead in your basement for 2 months.
I didn't do it. Who cares if I did? I didn't though. I would admit to it. What's the point of
I'm not
that?
accusing you, Gerbert. I'm just looking for answers, bud.
You see him kind of like reach over and kind of like hit something, and you notice there's like a pot on the boil right now with like bones sticking out the sides of it. Just gonna like.
Gerbert, for the last time, I don't care about the law. None of my business what you're
What law?
eating.
Get in the wrong neighborhood.
Exactly.
But yeah, he has no alarm to raise. He tells you if you're wanting to try and get some information or help or assistance or inform somebody who might be concerned, you would inform the Flap-Flaps, and you'd need to go to the fort to do that.
All right. I'm running back over to the house to collect anybody that seems can speak to authority.
Okay. Yeah, there's
Feeling like Brent,
there's
feeling like Joseph.
there's the gate guy. If you want to talk to him again.
Yeah, he was good. He didn't know math, but seemed to have responsibilities.
So by this point, you'll note that they are kind of like coughing heavily and like drinking very, very much, and they're very kind of like raucous. Looks like there are a couple of just like broken bottles near them, and kind of like a brown fluid kind of around where
Yeah, Flap finest, the boys in blue.
they see you coming, and they all kind of stop talking and are just looking at you as you approach.
Like, hey, I need your help. That guy that lives in that house, Bogart,
Yeah.
Bodel. He had a couple names. I think somebody broke in and kidnapped him. My friends and I were going to check on him when we talked to Gerbert. Sorry, I was losing the name.
Yeah.
And looked like somebody had broken in. We can't find him.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Okay, can I trust you to go alert the Flap Fort?
You bark something in Goblin at one of the guys, and the guy kind of like, ah, ah, ah,
I need you to do
and then he
this.
kind of barks the Goblin again at him, and then the little Goblin, like who's being yelled at, kind of like stops whining and runs off, heading south by southeast.
I guess I'm running back inside to report that nobody seems to give a total shit about the situation.
Bodhi's getting a lot of steps in today.
I'm done heading out.
All right.
Did we identify those items?
You guys have your wallets full.
Wait. As you walk out, you walk past these guys. They're still just lounging about, and they kind of go. The main one goes, "Hey, you there?" and kind of points at you.
Yeah.
Did you rob that place?
No?
Okay, good. Go on then.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good looking out, boys.
And then everybody else who passes by them will get similar.
Thin
engagement.
blue line.
Did you rob that place? No. Okay.
Damn, they're really putting in work today. Anybody that approaches this property well after the crime.
Will be asked if they did it.
Did you do it?
A simple no, get you out of it.
It's like Garth Marenghi's. Did you assault the cook? No? Okay, see you. Did you assault the cook? No? Okay, goodbye.
Anybody who's smart want to like investigate? Were there any signs of struggle, etc.? I know we found a
Exploded
trail.
hole.
We found a trail to the Denisotfans last time.
It genuinely looks like someone was using the table as cover or was on the table when it was shot. Whatever that person was shot. And then while they were laying in the broken settlement of it, were shot again. You can kind of see like there's like a faint outline of like a person in the ash.
But there are no bodies present.
There's no body present. And you would know that the firebolt cannon you have is not strong enough to vaporize skeletons.
Yeah,
I don't know that, but
I'm disappointed to learn that.
I'm a little upset now.
Kind of sucks.
You want to throw out tiles for all the stuff we picked up?
So I'll
So
go
now
ahead.
we'll sort out identifies.
Yeah, cool. If you take a good amount of time to cast Identify as Ritual, the boots are boots of the Winding Path.
Which is what?
Boots
Please,
of the
those.
Winding Path are technically an artificer-made item, but for our purposes are going to be an uncommon, wondrous item. While wearing these boots, a creature can teleport up to 15 feet as a bonus action to an unoccupied space the creature can see. The creature must have occupied that space at some point during the current turn.
Must have occupied the space during the. It's basically returning to a space you were in during
Yeah,
the
you can
same
move
turn.
up, attack, and
Stick and
teleport
move.
away.
Brass oil lamp.
Um, 1 second here. Required achievement. Just copying, pasting, sort of, kind of. So yeah, the lamp.
Take the lamp.
The lamp. Is called the Lamp of the Watchful Rest. Which
Finally. So now that's somebody to stay awake with.
And
it-
it's a lamp.
It too is a wondrous item, and it does not require attunement. When it's placed out during a short or long rest, anyone who's taking a watch during that time cannot be surprised and has a +5 bonus to perception and investigation checks. Passive perception and investigation.
We have a weapon of warning in the group.
Right.
We're hella unsurprised, except when it comes to interactions that are very surprising.
I'll get the card out for that later. I need to
Like nobody giving a shit about this.
do it. The great sword is a vicious great sword. That's all. And that was it, right?
The statue.
Statue of Hadrian.
You took the statue.
Yeah, man.
It weighs
Was it like a whole-on statue?
Yeah, it was a whole on statue.
No, I thought it was like a foot tall.
Like a little
Oh.
bust.
No, it
Wouldn't
was like
fit
a,
in the bag, huh?
it was like as tall
Like an action
as,
figure.
It was like as
He's
tall
like
as-
dragging it. They're like, "Did you steal anything from there?" And he's like, "No,"
No.
as he's dragging
all,
the
the,
statue.
all the planks on the dock are just ruined.
That was just a stone statue then.
Yeah, it was a stone statue of a guy.
Go ahead and take that out of the inventory.
It looked like it was broken open, though. Looked like it had an orifice inside of it that was kind of something might have been in there, but whatever it was is gone.
Dang. What was the shape of the orifice?
I would say it was
Longsword like?
Columnal.
no, it was kind of ellipsoid, but like taller than it was wide. It's kind of like a Kinder egg, or like a plastic egg.
Egg shaped.
Get your mouth on the Hadrian until you get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
How many other egg-like things that are also eggs? Is
Um,
it shaped like
It's kind of like one of those balloons.
one of those peanut butter eggs?
You know, peanut butter egg, Reese's eggs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Except like a 3-dimensional Reese's egg. It's not like flat. It's
Right.
And it has a button on it that when you hit it, it turns
somebody
into a longsword.
like- of course, yeah. That was it, right?
So something relatively small would have been inside of it then.
And the book,
So
which is
how-
still
how did,
sealed.
how did you get the book out?
We haven't touched the book because we're
Oh,
afraid
oh.
if we touch it, we'll use like.
I
set off the
wasn't
spell.
paying attention if he took it or not. I left it.
That was what I was like. I don't know if that was what you were going to get
Again,
Gerbert for.
The spell symbol
Stunned
was on it.
Death.
The spell symbol was on it. If you wanted to try and dispel the symbol on it, you could have.
We do not have any. I mean, unless your dispel magic is of a higher spell category than mine, I cannot dispel
Third
a higher
level,
level
third
like that. If it's third level, then yeah, I can dispel it.
Click the dispel magic and read it. Yeah, so if you cast it on a spell that's higher level, you roll for it. So you can dispel a 9th level spell with dispel magic. You just have to roll good.
And if you don't,
Then the spell fizzles. Dispel magic fizzles. You can try
and
it.
there's no ill effects for activating
No,
the.
no.
Oh, you might see. There's no reason not to try it, Joseph. Right?
Okay.
Symbol specifically has its activation of being listed. Touch is the activation for that symbol specific.
Well, then I will try it.
Go ahead and roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier. Yeah, sufficient. So the symbol would be dispelled. The hand mark would fizzle off of it.
Okay, then I take the book,
Okay, cool.
and then I burst into flames and die. No, I'm just kidding.
No death for you.
That's
So-
everybody else.
I have a
Everyone
question for,
else.
like a question for the group, not for John. Is that do we get the sense that Bogart was a pretty powerful wizard?
Apparently
Uh,
not. It's not just
symbol-
broke his book open.
Symbol is a 7th level spell.
Yeah, I mean that's
And
a
he kept
pretty.
a gun. That doesn't
Well-
strike me as a powerful wizard.
Were the guns from the Denisovans?
Yes.
Did it stop in
Yeah, they had the same symbol on them. That was what when I investigated I saw.
So did some Denisovans try to come in and roll his place, and maybe he got the better of them? We don't know, but he didn't come back and get his really powerful spell book.
It's not a spell book.
Well-
If you take it back and you've got it, and then you open it, which isn't a hard task to do, you would note that it's not a spell book. After extending some time and identifying it as well, you'd realize it's a manual of golems.
Oh, that sounds
Neat.
badass.
Which is what?
Are we gonna make golems?
So a manual of golems is a tome that contains information and incantations necessary to make a particular type of golem. This one, iron.
Not flesh, not flesh. Yes.
Iron golems.
The DM chooses to type or to decipher and use the manual. You must be a spellcaster with at least 2 5th level spell slots. So you cannot decipher what it is, like to use it. You just understand what it is because of identify. If you try to read the manual of golems, you would take 66 psychic damage, but because you identified it smartly, we're just moving past that. Yeah, we're fine. To create an iron golem, you need 120 days and 100,000 gold pieces.
And also 2 5th level spell slots.
Well, just to decipher it, right? To be able to
Like
start
I
the
don't
process.
even have one of those.
Right. So you wouldn't be able
We'll
to
get
read
there.
it to understand
And
the
then we'll
process.
we'll get there. Then we'll take a 4-month vacay and have our new best friend.
All right.
What do we think he was doing with the Book of Golems?
Making golems.
I mean, he was
Well, I mean,
obviously a
that's-
powerful wizard if he had a seal on it that strong, but it takes a long time to do.
I wonder if he succeeded in making any.
Well, not with this book, because once you use it, it goes away.
Oh, is it really?
So there's another fun fact that you don't know for certain. So normally a manual of golems would dissipate, but this is a book that has
Tome
some
of
secrets to
golems.
it. So there,
A locked
there's a
tome
term
of
that I
golems.
use for magic items that's called blessing or curse. And so these are things that happen either when a magic item is activated or when a magic item is attuned to. This appears to have what is known as an extra effect that cannot be identified. So there's either a blessing on this manual of golems or a curse on this manual of golems. It was in the restricted library though, so
Maybe that's what those machines he was making was is something out of this.
the mechanical rigs are a little bit less crazy an artifice. If Sanat had like 80 days and the components, Sanat could probably build one of the mechanical rigs. Anybody trained in Arcana can figure it out. It's not terribly hard. I mean, looking at them here, let me see if I can find one.
Yes, please.
Ravnica. Images.
Bringing Grok back.
Cybergrok.
I guess this would probably be the best way of kind of looking at it from a top-down perspective. Yeah. I mean, it's just like a pair of arms, a pair of legs, and a seat, like with kind of like a mechanical thing. This is what they look like in art form.
Oh, is this the loader thing?
Yeah. Just like
Are those just hanging out?
I mean, they're being used, but the
Oh.
thing that I think Brent was referring to was he does repair work on these.
Did he make them from a golem? Like,
You do not
is
know
this
whether he made
is this a
them or not.
repurposed golem? Oh, okay.
And again, it does sound like they weren't made by him; they were made by Gerbert. It's just that Bogart helped in the maintenance.
Okay.
We'll grab one of those on our way out of town.
I would not mind having something cool like that.
It's going to carry around our airplane.
I'm just gonna throw it like a paper
That's
plate.
great. Yeah, well, that's how it get us started.
That's
Just
how I launch it. And then I never find you guys.
No, you throw it so hard, but then you're still attached to it.
Nice thing.
And so, yeah,
Yeah, we're in a pickle. What do we do?
some of you
We
folks
go to bed.
Some of you
That does
folks are
solve
more
problems.
conglomerate minded, so you would know that these are not that this kind of process, the mechanical rig, is not an uncommon thing. Like there are larger versions, it's just the ones that are currently on offer here in Flat Flap are obviously designed for use by a goblin. But there are ones that are kind of similar to like Magitech from Final Fantasy VII, like I was mentioning, that are a bit more built for multi-purpose function. Some of them built with turbines, some of them built with magical cannons, built for war, sometimes not. But yeah. Anywho, what are you gonna do from that? Because you obviously spent some time identifying. I'm assuming you're gonna probably head to sleep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else you want to do during the evening time?
I go to school in the morning.
Okay.
Just dreamed about
Go
the
ahead.
stuff I'm going to do to this airplane.
Shift the music back to normal. Your airplane will be, 2-point, and you did kind of fly it around. I just haven't got a chance to token it up. I've been drawing for other things this week.
It's fine.
Yeah, we still haven't named it. You're fine.
Yeah. That said, during the next day, it sounds like this is going to be day 3. Is that right?
This should be day 4.
Day
Or
1,
no, we bumped up the schedule. That's right.
day 3 will be more work, and it'll be more class during the day. Unless anybody has anything they want to do to divert from that.
Not till after work.
Okay. Bodhi is free during the day, though.
Yeah, I really don't have much I can do. I suppose I'll chance trying to meet up with that new 2 lady, but I don't want to be.
Well, you did just grab a couple of magic items if you wanted to throw in, because after today, Nyx's training for vehicles air will be completed. So you could technically get training from Daltia as well. She has 2 feats in a vehicles option, so you could try it for the vehicles. Obviously, the elf lady is going to be busy, so she can't train you. Or you can try and start searching for other people to talk to.
Would Daltia be willing to take the Vicious Greatsword and then take the 2 shields and turn them into a second windshield, like for the second seat, so we can mount the guns on the ship, but have them like removable, just like cut in a slot and we can pop them in?
Jeremy's real invested in the sky battle aspect. What could be?
No, I am enjoying it.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
Let's go back to the map of the sky ships real quick. So this is what we've got so far.
Yeah.
And you paid for extra scaffolding so you could make these positions more tenable as like holding positions. Like they're not grafted directly to the frame like was initially going to be the case. So there's kind of a bit of space there. The wings don't, despite the name of their people being flat flap, the wings don't flat flap. They're
Rigid.
rigid and going to always be in that position. So would you want your batteries for like where the shields will slot in to be on the boats, or do you want them to be on? We'll go ahead and move.
I would put them side by side under the balloon.
So like on this platform up top here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the barrels are up over Andy's head.
Yeah. I understand. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Take the Vicious Greatsword for that.
This one
Oh,
top
yeah.
center is the one we're looking at, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had the wrong
No worries.
tool selected. I was on the ruler.
Little removable windshield we can hide
This
behind.
one
and
here, this one.
From.
So what that will allow for, it won't allow for a 360 degree bead of fire.
No, we wouldn't attach the guns. Yeah, we would pull. You could pull the gun out and shoot it, or you could mount them in there
Yeah.
and have one in each hand and just
The shields are removable
Blast.
or no?
preferably so you can take them out and carry them around.
I understand. So yeah, there would be basically new scaffolding that would be put in place that would allow for the shields to be slotted into place
Just
and allow
prop them
for
up. Yeah.
a firing battery. But they would be since you're spending a lot effectively on the scaffolding on uncommon, they are pintled, so the shields are not slotted in place and locked. They're slotted into a thing that's on kind of a swivel, so it'll
Nice.
allow for 180 degree fire while slotted in. And you obviously have the tilt access on the shield so you can fire up and down in that same position. So you'll have one gun on one side, one gun on the other. Both can fire directly forward, both can fire directly back, but they can only fire their direct side. And then the shields can be removed.
Each has 90 degrees. Is that what you mean?
No, 180.
Okay.
So basically 2 half circles.
Oh, from front to back though, not left to right.
Right. So
Okay.
basically, yeah, they don't overlap.
2 half circles would be a whole circle.
Yeah, they don't overlap.
Each one has 180 degree firing arc.
Right,
but
the
one,
line is
one
down
covers
the
the right,
middle
one
of-
covers the left.
The
Got
line's
it,
down the
got
middle
it,
of the
got it.
ship, right. And it will take you 4 minutes to remove the shield. It is not going to be a quick process. Okay? Oh, everybody's freezing? Oh, no.
Everything froze for me too.
Yeah, that was weird. So,
I'm having a great time today.
yeah, it's been so good, Internet. So the shields require 4 minutes to remove. The guns require a single action to remove when they're locked in. Fair?
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll add those turrets effectively to the ship. Won't be hard because there's a balloon blocking it. I'll probably make the balloon transparent, so it's still on the image, but you can kind of see.
As long as it doesn't make it easy to pop, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Cool.
Cut any corners on materials here, guys.
They'll be working on that tomorrow then, or during today, the day that we're in, day 3.
I like that Andy jumped into the seat of the plane.
And just to be sure, we have
You
Andy's
do.
finishing up the vehicles air training today.
Yep.
Last day of it. This will be day 3 for Sanat, Ezekiel, and Silas on skill expert training for nature. And then Uther is working because Uther is working always. And then Bodhi's really the only person we just kind of need to figure out what you're doing for today. Is there anybody you
Gotta figure out what you do.
Is there anything that you want to like specifically like go for? Like, is there any person you want to talk to? Again, we have a decent connection with Gerbert. We understand that the people who had the guns and the shields were working for the Guild of Malbranch, who again are not the same guild that Uther's working for. The Guild of Malbranch are again the ones that are like a adventurers guild, but a little bit more seedy than an adventurers guild. Like they do, kind of.
I guess I should talk to the Malbranch folks since they were. It was one of their guys that was dead in the basement of Gerbert's, right?
Yeah,
Is what I'm supposed to understand.
Allegedly.
that's right.
Yeah, I guess I'll go talk to a corrupt adventuring guild by
Okay.
myself.
So you'd meet with the Malbranch, this would be the second time I believe you've met with the Malbranch. The Gith Yankee that was talked to. Were you the person who spoke to the Gith Yankee, or was it someone
What
else?
the hell is a Gith Yankee?
Do you not know what a Gith Yankee is?
I vaguely. Are they the
Yellow
the,
skin, look like they
the-
have like a. They almost look like they have jaundice, and then they kind of have like small.
They were like the slave race for the
the Illithids, right?
Illithids? No, I did not speak to them.
Who
I know
was
what they
the one
are.
that spoke to the
Was it
Gith Yankee?
Sanat?
I don't remember.
What?
Was it Silas?
I think it was Silas.
Where was it? Where were they?
Because he was at the guild thing, wasn't he?
They were
Yeah.
located here.
I think it was
That
Nick.
was
Yeah, no, that was Silas.
With Silas? Okay.
Yeah, because he went there to look at something, I think.
That's right. So yeah, you haven't met with the Malbranch. So when you get to their abode, where they're kind of,
I think that was actually me and Bodhi, but we didn't meet with them because they were away.
right. And then someone
We went
else
in that
came
direction,
and
but
met with
Silas
them.
is the one that talked
Oh,
to them.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So when you get to this location, you'll meet with the Malbranch. He is kind of surrounded by folks. Looks like he's dealing with business as you're kind of let in, brought to him directly, and he would kind of look to you and say, I have it under understanding that you and a group of individuals who came on to Flap Flap not too long ago have helped Gerbert with a matter plaguing him. I want to acknowledge my appreciation. We did receive a request from him, but did not have time to fulfill it.
Oh, when did you get the request?
I'd say maybe 4 or 5 days ago. 6 or 7 days
Interesting.
ago.
Well, forgive me to be the bearer of bad news. Gerbert informed me there was, he believed, a member of your guild came to offer their protections on his property.
Interesting.
This was, according to him, some time ago, maybe 8 to 10, 6 days back?
Do you happen to know the name of the individual?
I'm afraid not. We found his remains. Gerbert was insistent that they be disposed of in the proper means. I believe that means he had them ejected off the island.
You hear one of the other.
I'm protecting him from the truth.
You hear one of the other people kind of say something in kind of sharp tone, and you watch as the Malbranch kind of raises his hand, kind of looks at him dismissively, like almost angry, and then kind of turns back to you after that little display. He says, "The remains in question. Any identifying markers or notations about them?"
It carried a weapon. I believe had a Denisotvan marking on it. A rifle of a sort.
Just one individual? It wasn't a pair?
Just the one. He had a shield to match.
We have 2 of our guild members who are currently missing. The last job that they were employed on was about the same time that the request was made by Gerbert regarding his basement.
Well, Gerbert didn't make the request until a few days ago. This guy's been gone for 2 months.
No, he hasn't been gone for 2 months.
No, the first time he went and talked to Gerbert was a month or 2 ago, according to Gerbert.
Correct.
Oh,
He didn't.
he hasn't been dead for the 2 months.
He
Then?
didn't disappear right after. No,
Okay, I thought. Well, fuck, he was a skeleton.
Yeah, decomp went fast.
it wasn't decomp.
He got
I'm
eaten.
aware he probably got eaten by the bugs or what have you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he would say.
Sorry.
Just,
I don't mean to. If that's the case, and I genuinely misunderstood,
No,
I'm
no
not
worries.
being combative towards the guy.
I'm gonna out of character formulate the timeline that Malbranch is basically going to outline. It will kind of work together with the timeline that we have for your end of it, so we can kind of link
That's
them.
fine.
So Malbranch is going to identify his timeline. About 6 or 7 days ago, so this would be about 3 days before you landed on the island, which would be about the same time frame as when Gerbert would have requested help.
Okay.
They received the request from Gerbert.
And they hadn't landed. They were flying at the time.
Yeah, they were flying. Then there was a
Okay.
day that they landed, and then there was the now 3 days before today that you've been airborne. So it's about 7 days is when the request was made by Gerbert,
Okay.
and here we are. So he would say,
So the mage hunters, they didn't hop on at the last landing when we joined.
correct.
Is something I want to identify.
Yeah, the
Okay.
presumption is that they've been in there for a little while, either at least 7 days, but probably more. What he will note is that the 2 individuals he's about to name were hired by Denisotvans at about the same time for protection work. And he will name those individuals thusly. He is going to say that their names are Jeth and Geth. And Jeth and Geth were also Githyanki.
Okay.
Which seems to go well with what you would have noted about their. I explained that their skeletons weren't quite human,
Right.
but they weren't elvish either. They were somewhere in between that. Or the skeleton
So-
rather, that you found.
Jess and Geth, they were operating
As
on.
hirelings for the Denisovans.
Okay, they were hired by the Denisotvans, but they initially operated under the Malbranch Guild.
So the Malbranch Guild is basically a guild of adventurers. We
Right.
basically hire people out to do shit. So it's like, if someone comes to us and says, well, I want to hire 3 guys. We got 3 guys. What are you looking
Yeah.
for? You looking for a shooter?
We're hanging
You looking
outside
for a-
the Home Depot.
Right.
We're ready to
Except
go.
that they're murderers. Like,
Right, right, right.
Depot.
And besides Jeth and Geth, who else is Githyanki?
There's a
The
couple
guy I'm
other-
talking to, Malbranch.
The Malbranch.
Got it.
himself.
The Malbranch.
Right. His name is not Malbranch. Malbranch was a guy who's not alive anymore. It's now kind of like a Caesar. It's a title that's afforded to the person who runs the guild.
So, prior to this, how well did you know this these Jeth and Geth characters? Have they worked for you before?
So I had some familiarity with them due in part to our familial attachments. They are third cousins of mine, but they were mostly inducted into the guild as a favor to my sister. I will say that they are competent toughs. They do good work in providing protection, or they also, strong-arming individuals if that's what the employer is looking for.
Mhm.
But they weren't the brightest too. I definitely wouldn't have brought them into any of the higher guild meetings.
Hired muscle rarely is.
They were.
Did you find them to be trustworthy?
They would perform their job without question.
How are they equipped?
You're not here.
Oh, come on. Ask how they're equipped.
We know they had the guns. They are the two that had the guns.
Yeah, that's how
And
they
the,
identify
and the
them.
shields. And the shields.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how they identify them.
Okay.
That's how they were equipped.
Now
Thank
he'll
you.
explain that the shields, were of their making. He'll explain that the Denisothans seem to have armed them with new firearms. Their old firearms are still in their rooms.
Oh. Did they have rooms here in the guild?
They did.
This may be asking a lot, but would it be possible for me to have a look?
It is asking a lot.
I understand.
I
What
suppose
is your opinion of the Denisothans? I won't pursue it for. I don't want to push.
He says, I suppose that they are cordial enough. They are being welcomed here by the primary Flap Flap brothers, so their jobs are as good as any. Unlike the goblins, they are willing to pay in coin, which is a boon for us. We typically like to leave our agents out afield, and sometimes it's hard to do that if they do not have coin to facilitate their needs when they're off island.
Mhm.
Their leader is extremely scary to me. She
Yeah?
is very competent looking. She carries a blade that appears to be made out of orichalcum, which, out of character, it would shift into your head that orichalcum is not common. Like, it's probably the
Yeah.
first time you've heard it in a campaign, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and basically,
so far as I can think.
adamantine orichalcum. So it's like adamantine or.
I can't see your gestures.
Oh yeah, you wait a couple minutes.
I see you now
Right.
waving your hands around, but I don't know. I'm assuming
Bottom
adamantine
of
is the
screen,
lower.
adamantine, top of the screen, and then off of the top of the screen. Or
Got it.
Orichalcum is
it.
also known as the god's metal.
Was it a space rock?
Not a space rock.
Not one?
No.
Okay.
I've got mithril in my
Technically-
pocket.
Technically, to the dwarfs, it's extremely common to find. However, the people who can actually manipulate it, not so common. So, yeah.
Neat.
It is a greenish colored metal that is extremely, extremely powerful in that it is indestructible and it's very good at holding a magical enchantment.
So, Jeth and Geth, the Githyanki brothers and or third cousin to the Malbranch, worked under the Denisothans. To whom did their loyalties lie initially? Denisothans or the Malbranch?
So they're hirelings. They are given.
They are
jobs.
hired by the Denisothans.
The guild basically gives them a job, and that's
Right.
it. So like, if it came to a situation where it was like, if it was the guild versus the Denisothans, Jeth and Geth would probably have asked who's paying more.
Right.
And the guild's not going to pay because that's not what they do. They facilitate jobs. All the guild is basically a fixer.
Okay. Oh boy. What did you say the Denisoption leader's name was again?
Oh,
The scary one.
He did not say her name, but I will grant it here if I can find it in my notes. Bear with. That's all.
Is that the image for the Tuesday game?
What's that?
Is that the image for the Tuesday game with the lady with the green sword?
That's not the Tuesday games.
Was the Tuesday game or was the Friday game?
It's your game.
Our game.
Oh, that was for this one. Okay.
She's
It's
been
ours.
the one for your game for a while. Yeah.
All right.
I
Sorry.
wasn't paying attention. I didn't even see
No
it.
worries. I'll post it in Tor here in a second. But oh my god,
Today
why are my
is
notes
Sunday.
so bad?
Yeah, John. Why are your notes so bad?
Yeah, that's a great question. Oh my god. Bear with. I have to find.
Anyway, have they
Yeah.
made any offerings to you since this Jeff and Geth have gone missing?
The Denisophians.
Have they tried to hire any of your guild members since?
No.
I see. The other one that's missing. You said there were two.
There are.
Do you have any idea what his last job was? If the one was
They were
sent
both
to,
hired by them.
they were both hired by them.
Right.
Are you aware that one was sent to Gerbert's? Where was the other sent?
I was not aware where they were sent. I don't
I
track
see.
their movements. Oh, right. Alexandra.
Alexandra. Well, shucks. I might have to speak this Alexandra myself. That sounds comfortable. Well,
And he would let you know if that's the case. She is currently staying in the Flat Flat Fort.
oh, very good.
Flat Flat
I,
Manor to the south.
Flat Manor to the south. Which is
Bottom right
over
corner.
there. Okay, got it. Well, I suppose that's all the questions I have for you. If there's nothing else you can tell me about Geth and Jeff,
They haven't returned. They are missing.
I can confirm one is certainly a skeleton
You did ask if you,
and possibly scattered
you did ask
several
if you could
thousand feet
look-
below us.
You did ask if you could look into their rooms, and at first I was not terribly keen on the idea. However, if you have coin, I will take your currency, and you can take whatever you want from their rooms.
I can't promise a lot.
I think with what I understand to be in the rooms, I would take 200 gold pieces, and then I would need liquid. I would not want any trade.
Very well. I have 20 platinum coins
Yeah,
that
let's
I
do
was
that.
saving for a rainy day.
He will take them if you want to give them to him.
And, hell, I would hope for this price someone helps me carry things out of there.
I can
We're walking.
You're the one with the bag of holding.
I know, but I still get what I pay for.
He says, "I've got a person who will help you carry stuff."
You better
And,
get a fucking dolly, mister.
He yells a name, and the name you hear is Splug, and then eventually you see this little goblin come around out and go, "Yeah, what is it, boss?" Help him carry whatever he needs out of Jeth and Geth's room, and make sure he
Look,
doesn't
I
go
want you to
into
know I love you.
any other rooms besides. And he goes, "Oh, okay, cool." And so if you go into that space, what you'll find is that they had their firearms were present. These are traditional firearms. They are
Look
muskets.
throwers.
Classic muskets, 2 of them. It looks like they are enchanted, so they are +1 muskets. It looks like there's about 60 shots per. so 60 shots each. In addition to that, you would note that they have, amongst the two of them, a decent amount of treasures that they have taken on. These are not coins. It does look like this is more kind of art objects that they've gathered. Somewhere in the ballpark, and jewels, somewhere in the ballpark of 25 total items, each worth about 25 gold pieces apiece.
25 by 25 gold apiece.
And it's miscellaneous things like garnet, stones,
Right.
like
I'm just writing it as valuables.
valuables, yeah, brass cross, nothing that's going to stand out over anything else. Okay, and so Splug will kind of load it into a burlap sack and put it onto his back, and walk out with it, seemingly unbothered by the weight.
Scrug and I are gonna stop by the legal office, see if we can't draw up some adoption papers.
That makes sense.
So
Well,
I
if-
want him with me for a time.
for the rest of the time. If you do ask about hiring Splug long term, it'll simply cost you another 100 gold pieces, and he'll have to be returned by the end of the year.
Real tempting. Okay, alright. Well, we're into the session soon, so I get time to think about it.
Got time to think about it. That said, we'll leave there. The day will complete, so anything you would have acquired for the day, you will have gained it. So that's good that you already have that in your sheet there, Nix. The rest of you have 2 more days, I believe, remaining on your expertise or your feat training. And we'll discuss what we do on the evening time for day 3 next session. Thanks for watching those that did, and we will see you then.